Hi, everyone. I'm Pip from Seymour Digital Media. You're listening to Know How Marketing Lab podcast. This podcast brings together different experts in marketing from our Facebook group, Cyberpunk Geeks Marketing Mixer. Each week, we get on here and we talk about something search marketing like Google Ads or SEO, social media marketing from Facebook to TikTok, or website marketing. If you're a marketer or aspiring marketer, a business owner or entrepreneur, this podcast for you. We're going to share the best SEO, search, social, and website strategies. We share tips and hacks, Google Ads strategies, what's going on in the current market. Each week, we discuss something exciting and awesome in marketing. Today, we are talking about Google Ads and smart campaigns. If you don't know me, I'm Pip, Seymour Digital Media, and this is
Phelan, also at Seymour Digital Media.
So as I said, today we are talking about Google Ads smart campaigns. If you don't know what they are, you're in the right place. If you know what they are but want to learn about them, also in the right place. If you hate Google Ads and all the things to do with Google Ads, wrong place. So we're going to dive right in. And if you're joining us, say hello and chime in. Ooh, all the way from YEG. Phelan, where's YEG? Where's YEG?
Yeah, that one I don't know.
Tell me more, Chris. Okay, so we're diving in. We're going to talk about understanding Google Ads smart campaigns, and then we're going to dive into the smartness of smart campaigns, which is dealing with a little bit of AI stuff. And then we're going to talk about some limitations, challenges, and we got a couple case studies that will help us. Okay, and while you're mentioning that, I'm going to dive into understanding smart campaigns. So just a little bit of background history. Smart campaigns came out a few years ago and they were called something else. They were, Phelan, do you remember what they were called?
They were formerly smart campaigns, and now they've all been taken over by Performance Max. Yeah, basically what had happened is Google looked over at Facebook ads and said, wow, you really give people like no controls and do a lot of AI algorithm stuff. We'd really love to do that for people. And there was a name. It was called Ad Express way back in the day. That was like when we first got started 8 years ago. That was a new product type, and then it became Smart Campaigns. And then Smart Campaigns are now Performance Max. They've completely
and
been
there's
taken
also
over.
smart campaigns. So basically smart campaigns are automated ways to do Google Ads. Now, Google really tries to sell small businesses on this. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to log in, your account's going to be totally restricted, and you got to find this special button that says expert mode, or else you will be building a smart campaign. And not the good kind of smart campaigns, but the bad money stealing, no information smart campaigns. So we often go into people's accounts who have done Google Ads and we have to fix them. And when there's this aha moment when we switch things so that they can see everything, like you have to build a new campaign, but then you can see keywords and tracking. It's so beautiful. And then you can make smarter decisions on your marketing, right? And this is where all those pretty things called conversions come in, which are the actions that we want people to take on our website. So filling in a form, calling us, things like that. And so the reason we wanted to talk about smart campaigns is because I think we've changed some of our tune a little bit. We were fully 100% against smart campaigns until
and there wasn't really an aha moment. There was more just we knew that it could work, but the problem is it's like one of those. It's like having a really fast wind-up toy, and sometimes it runs into a brick wall because it wasn't smart enough to avoid it, and then other times it like makes it to the end of the finish line like super quick. And there are ways you can help mitigate this, and there's like little optimizations you can make along the way.
Smart campaigns.
When you're setting them up and optimizing them, it's definitely, and for e-commerce, it's the way to go is the Performance Max.
Yeah.
But you have to be smart about how you do it. Like you can't just go, oh, I'm just going to do one and done and not think about it. Like there is still strategy, even if you're just letting Google automate the rest of it. You need to be thinking about it.
When you log in, so here's one of the problems with this is creating a Performance Max campaign, although a smart campaign is not the generalized option that a business owner would know about, right? And Performance
Yeah.
Max are campaigns, which are a type of Google Ads campaigns, which work with AI more so, are started out being for e-commerce. They started out being not so great, right? We wouldn't recommend them. And over time, as Google's got more information from users, they have been getting better. So now there's like a dual play where specifically for e-commerce, right? You do a Performance Max, which is like a smart AI campaign that you do have to monitor and manage still, but it does some of the heavy lifting for you. And then you also take, what is it, Phelan? You take your best products, and those are their own, you create your own campaign for those. Is that correct?
You would have them as, they don't call them ad groups, but they're called asset groups. So it's like just the level just below a campaign. You would have an asset group, and that asset group would be like, say, if you have shirts and pants, you would separate them out because you would obviously write ad copy differently for the pants than the shirts. And then you would make a segment of, okay, find all my products from Merchant Center that are pants, put them in this one, find all the shirts, put them in this one, and then you would write ad copy about it, and all your images would also be about the pants. The other thing that just came to mind when I was actually like just thinking about like our change tune on like smart campaigns and Performance Max, the one thing that I've noticed that I just realized is that the conversion type, that if you're looking for phone calls, smart campaigns and Performance Max campaigns are actually pretty good at getting you phone calls. So if you're a
Mm,
business, you sell really well, getting them to fill out a form, I definitely don't recommend. Getting them to a landing page to take an action. But a lot of the campaigns, when I think about it, have been getting someone to click to call someone. It's actually
mm,
been, they've been pretty successful, is if that's your conversion action. Even clicking the tell link on on a landing page, they've still been pretty good with that. So like getting the Google's pretty good at identifying people that call people. And so I think
mm.
that's
That's what you want as your
w-
action. Hey, we should do a Performance Max for our education people. Yeah. So just background. So inside Google Ads, Phelan talked about segments and assets. So in Google Ads, the way it kind of works is you build campaigns. Campaigns are the things that have budgets, not the account. You have campaigns, and then under campaigns, you have ad groups, or in Performance Max, they're called assets, asset groups.
asset group. Yeah.
And inside a ad group, you're going to have your ad group is what holds your keywords and your ads. So that's where you would separate out like pants versus shirts, or like parents versus kids, or like whatever your strategy is. So
Yeah.
strategy goes into how you organize a campaign. The reason we wanted to talk about smart campaigns is because they are getting better. And we are
Yeah.
now working with both, right? Because we do our specific campaigns that are search text campaigns mainly. That's the foundation of Google Ads. And then we're using these smart campaigns to help us. So sometimes we'll get an account and clients have set up their own smart campaigns and they're working, right? And so it's
Yeah.
our job not to turn them off, because who's tried that? I don't know. But
Yeah.
to keep them going and then get the best information out. Now, the problem with the smart campaigns are, and because owners don't know really necessarily what they're doing, and it is Google's job, they don't tell you, but it's their job to steal your money as a business owner and get you results. But if you don't know how to manage optimizing an account to get those results, then that's where the play goes in. So with one of our campaigns, for we're working with a, I don't know, a dude that goes out and does whale watching, and in his smart campaign there was targeting for Nova Scotia. And so that's a problem, and he didn't know where to look, and so all of a sudden he doesn't know he's paying for people searching in Nova Scotia about whale watching. They're never going to be clients. So with smart campaigns, you do need somebody reviewing them. I think at some point we'll probably offer a service to review these things for people and just give them some tips, because we want to
Yeah.
see those business owners be successful. So why we're talking about smart campaigns is because it's the new AI stuff, right? It's definitely flooded the market with Chat GPT. So are they smart? That was our part two. Are Google Ads smart campaigns smart? And what that means is, can I run them and not think about it? Phelan, what do you think? Should business owners do this? Try it?
It's a good question. I definitely, what I would focus on is, what is the thing that you want the ads to do? Is that's a big one. Of if you're doing Say you're an e-commerce company or you just need phone calls. Those
Hmm.
would be really good places that I would take a look. If you have a really hard to explain, like we have someone that does their service is like related to event planning, but really they're
It's
just more to
not
like
event
make your
planning.
it's not event planning. Like it's a really hard business to explain to people. So those people I would not do it because it's hard and the AI is just going to not get it. Also, they need, like, really targeted, like they want someone to, like, really fill out this form, like, completely. Like, they like
Mhm.
having those extra form fields because they don't need tire kickers. They need someone that's really they need
And to be able to
quality.
spend money, right?
Yeah, so
The
they're going for quality, not quantity. So in that case,
mm.
like, they're a really bad use case for the like we've tested it out and it just hasn't been really useful for them. But so that's like my thought process is your business easy to explain to someone? If so, then I would experiment with the smart campaigns because then Google can easily get your stuff in front of people that are going to want to call you to if you're a plumbing business, people know what to expect from a plumbing business. Like I said, if you're like a really complicated event planning service, that's not something that's easily explained in an ad, and they're gonna get it wrong and just
Well,
cost
you
you a
write
bunch of
your
money.
own ads where they give you ad ideas. One of the problems with the smart campaigns is there isn't a lot you can do and you don't know how to do it. Now there's some other crazy things going on with Google Ads. There's these local service ads which are now attached to your Google Ads account, but it's a different platform. And there's a lot going on in Google Ads. We actually have a video we're going to do down the road about I think there's 22 different types of ad campaign types you can do. So it
Yeah.
is overwhelming, right? And Google's job is to get you to spend more money. So you might get reps calling you and stuff like that. And they will recommend the bejeezers out of the smart campaigns. I don't know if they recommend the Performance Max campaigns. Also smart campaigns, but they're smarter. All
Well,
these
the
need a
problem
human hand to help.
yeah, the issue with the Performance Max is because it's the newest toy for Google that they are even outbidding. So say you run a regular text search campaign and a Performance Max, the Performance Max will show up in the search results over your text campaign. It gets a
Mhm.
preference in the bidding strategy, and they also reserve up to 20 to 30% of bid spacing for the Performance Max. So
Mhm.
even if you run display ads, the Performance Max will take over the display. It will outbid it.
Oh, that's
Um,
interesting, eh? It's interesting
yeah,
how that we need as marketers to pay attention to the newest toys and adventures because when they come out, those platforms like Google or Facebook or TikTok or will give preference to that new stuff. So for instance, in YouTube, for a long time, I'm not sure about now, but for a long time, stories became a preference, right? So if you did stories, your channel got seen more. So like with all things, try the new tools, see if they work. If they work for you, awesome. If they don't work for you, stop them quick. And
yeah,
I think one of the biggest things is that a lot of business owners will set this up and they don't set up their conversions, which tracks the leads coming in. And that's where the
yeah.
fail is. Where you can set that up with smart campaigns, can you not fail in? It's not automated.
It's not automated. They can't, but that's why I said at the top that like that the calls are something that Google's finds the easiest because it knows what to expect. It knows that this person just loves
Mm,
clicking on call ads, and I'm sure they have historical information, and so they know that, and that's super easy for them to tell, right? If they have a call extension, it's in the ad, they get them a call, and then all of a sudden, hey,
mm.
I'm sending you like this many phone calls. They can easily track that. I that I think is Google's preference. Filling out forms and stuff is a little more complicated for Google to be tracking and making sure the conversion tracking is set up correctly. There's no way to automate that.
It's got to be what's
Your form,
easiest for your client too, right? So the person interacting with your website, what are they more likely to do? Are they going to fill out a long form? Do you have to have them fill out that long form? And what do you want?
yeah,
Do you want phone calls? We have businesses that don't want phone calls, right? We're going to be very specific about the choices we make for what we're doing for their campaigns. Want to know more about SEO? We've got a class for that. Our mission is to educate students about the right tools, techniques, and strategies to grow their businesses using the most up to date search engine marketing optimization techniques and tools. Find out more at knowhowmarketinglab.com. So I guess in the end, I
I
think
just
we
wanted to
would. Oh
say
yeah. Oh, you're jumping in.
we haven't covered all the conversion types that come into Performance Max,
No, it's
because there's
true.
one that we haven't talked about, which is one I just started setting up for a couple of our clients, and it's store visits.
Ooh,
So
that's so
that's a
exciting.
conversion. Yeah, so we've got a couple of clients that, because it's like the summer months, and they do run e-commerce ads, but like their profits are way higher if they get
In
someone in the
store.
door, right? They don't have to,
Yeah.
yeah, they don't have to pay shipping costs. They're
Hmm.
there, and one of them does live wood turning, and so it's a big thing.
To
And
go
so
see.
that's a big one. We're running it as well with Facebook ads just because we're experimenting, and they're in like a touristy spot. And but the store visits is a conversion type that is bestowed to you by Google. They don't tell you when it's activated. They just randomly say, "Oh, we tracked people
Mm,
that came to your store." I'm gonna guess it's probably Google Maps is probably the trigger, right?
yeah.
It's like it pings off of their phone, and then it's, "Oh, you're at the location."
Well, the
Okay,
other thing
fine.
to
And then it's
note about that is that, what is it? When people search in localized areas, there's a 72% likelihood that those people will visit the location within 24 hours, 48 hours.
yeah,
So I think
yeah,
this
and
to
it's
attach the Google Business Profile to the Google Ads. Does that, maybe that's how it counts as store visits?
that helps. There's no actual indication, because even store visit, like the way they did it, it's just like it appears out of the ether, and you're just given store visits as a conversion. And so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because if you run store visits as a campaign type, you can only set them up as a Performance Max campaign. They used to have a specific campaign type
Oh.
that was like store visits, but now it's just totally taken over by Performance Max. And but it shows up different in the ad itself. It actually uses your location that's from your Google Business Profile, and then what it does is it says, "Oh, request directions." That's like the little call to action on the ad
Mhm.
itself, and it'll show up in YouTube. It'll show up in display, and it'll always
Interesting.
have, yeah. So that's why I'm bringing it up. Is because they're also included in this world of like Performance Max campaigns.
That's
And so
interesting. So it's changing fast.
it is, and it's definitely one that it's because it's eating up a lot of probably unused ad space, like your Gmail and Discovery ads, your YouTube ad
Mm,
space. Like a lot of these ad types that people just don't bid on as much because they're just not as laser targeted. I think Google is trying to push some of like the people to be on these like Performance Max campaign types. And the other thing I wanted to say about the Performance Max of why it's an interesting campaign type is it also says that it will spend 10% of your ad budget on something called prospecting. So that's your top of funnel. Like people don't know that this is a problem. And
mm,
so that's your YouTube ads, discovery ads. So that's like kind of top, like, hey, looking for to redo the plumbing in your house.
mm,
Just spitballing. So you don't even know that that's an issue. And so it's supposed to be doing prospecting, and then also supposed to spend 10 to 20% of the ad campaign on retargeting. So it's going to take
mm.
care of technically the whole funnel from top to bottom of the funnel all in one campaign. So that's something
Without
else to
you
kind of
being
keep in
able to
mind.
optimize, though, like as the ads person, there's
Yeah.
less you can do, but you can do things, because if you're doing a performance max and something's performing and you see something that works, you can move that out and do other testing in other sorts of campaigns. So now there's a lot of go between. It used to be like Google Ads people were really strict. Like, for instance, you can tell the difference between Phelan and I is I'm more search focused, in that I do more of the text ads and Phelan does more of the Performance Max ads. And we work with a lot of companies that are e-commerce and have a brick and mortar, which is really
Yeah.
interesting and unique. And that's why we get to do the store visits. And there's some really cool things happening in the Google Ads space. It's moving fast. Some of us were afraid that with all the AI stuff that we wouldn't have jobs. But the reality is that in order for Google not to steal your money, you should get a rep or someone who isn't part of Google. I'll tell you a little secret. Google's ads reps will call you and they'll be like, "Hey, we're here to help you." And you're like, now if you spend a certain amount of money, you get better help. But if you're spending
Yeah.
less, you'll get the beginner people. What we have to realize is these people have a quota, and the quota is based on your budget. So say they have 10 clients and each client has to spend $100, right? in order for them to hit their $10,000. And say client A is spending 800 and client B is spending 400, right? They're going to try to get that client B spending 400 to spending, doubling that so that they can keep their job. So they literally have quotas they have to keep up with. And if they don't, then they get moved into a different department or they might lose their job. So that tells you a lot about Google's incentivizing their staff to get you to spend money. And if you are doing Google Ads, it's really important, especially if you're doing them on your own, to pay attention, to start learning, to practice, to try things, to get help. A lot of people believe that they don't need help optimizing accounts, but they need help with setup. And that can be true, but the reality is after about 3 or 4 months, things will start to break, right? Or not work. I think we had a client get a hold of us and their contact us page is no longer working, hasn't been working for months. And so they need help. So they've come back, which is nice. But of course, we're going to help them because they want phone calls and forms filled out. So there's a lot that goes into Google Ads and it's changing rapidly. Now, Phelan, limitations and challenges and success stories. So tell me about industries like e-commerce and what they're measuring. So there's something called ROAS, I think we should talk about. What is ROAS, Phelan?
So ROAS is its return on ad spend. And if you set up your Google Analytics 4 with Shopify or WooCommerce, what it will send back to Google is like, hey, I had a sale that was worth like $200, or I had a sale that was worth $300. And so what Google does is it calculates, okay, we had an ad that converted for, I'm going to make it easy, $200, and you spent $100 in ads leading up to that point. So that means that you had 2 times, so 200, it was a 2.2, it's how it's calculated. So it's, think of it as a percentage. So it's 200% return on ad spend. You spent $100, you got back $200. So that's how they calculate
So
it.
what would the ROAS be there?
200%.
Or 200%. Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically, and it comes out as like a 1 point something, or in this case, it would be 2.0, right? It's like, so it just says, so basically you take how much the value was, and then you divide it by how much you spent on ads. And then that will give you a ratio. And so you always want to be above 1.
Now it's funny because Google Ads can cost a lot to get into, right? Yeah. In that there's people that have to set up stuff. There's setup, there's account optimization, there's campaign optimization. So there's setup costs and then there's recurring revenue costs, right? And so you're going to have the cost for your ads and the cost for your ads manager. But a lot of the businesses we see make most of their money from Google Ads. Search is intent-based. I don't know how many of us go over to search to peruse. We're going over there to get information, find information, buy something, right? Those are the things. So what is it? Information transactional or navigational? But navigational is when I type in like Facebook and I want to go to Facebook, like it's taking you directly there. So because of that intention-based search, if I'm a plumber and I'm a 24-hour plumber, emergency plumber, I definitely want to be using my Google Ads, even if it costs me money to be in that market to win the game, unless I get like tons of referrals because I've been around for 40 years.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just wanted to say, so like with the limitations, one of the things you're going to find is that it just doesn't give you the same data as if you had done it like the search campaigns that you had done. There are workarounds if you're super sophisticated and you know how to use Google Ads scripts. There are a bunch of scripts that people have written. And people
don't put code on your stuff without getting it checked over first, though. That's what I'm.
Oh yeah, so you definitely don't just randomly do this stuff, but it's definitely there. People have figured out workarounds that's hidden in the APIs for this. But again, you have to be a pretty sophisticated user to use it. And so that's one of the big limitations. We have seen successes as well with some campaigns just knock it out of the park, no problem. Set up a basic performance max campaign and then just e-commerce and just raking in the money. There's other ones that we've had that require a lot of optimizing and adjusting and taking out campaigns and
just figuring
updating
it out.
and updating, like making new asset groups, and those asset groups, if you take out products that are just low performing, they're eating up all the budget, like you might have to tweak it and adjust it. It's not impossible. It's definitely, like I said, it's worth experimenting and not getting down on if like it's just a success out of the gate or not. Right. I don't think that's the way to look at it. It's one that
Mm.
it does have a lot more tools now with adjusting and being like, oh, this didn't work. But if you go through the numbers, you can figure out like, oh, if I had taken this one out, then all the budget would be used for the other ones because
Mm.
Google is as bad as Facebook at over optimizing for, hey, I found a thing that worked or I think worked, whether or not it actually does. And so they're really bad at that, or just like doing one thing and I've heard it described as like ants finding sugar. They just like as soon as they find it, that everyone just hones in on that and they don't
Mm.
keep optimizing. They're like, we found success. And so
They
that's one
don't
thing that
send
people
Bobby off to go find some like flour instead of sugar.
or
Yeah.
keep scouring to see, hey, maybe there's a better sugar pile over there. No, they're like, no, we found the thing and we're just gonna keep doing the
Stick
thing
with
until
it. Yeah.
we're done.
And so that's, yeah, I think, I don't know, if anybody here is interested in Google Ads, you should message us. We love this stuff. And we do have a course. And I think we're going to be doing a boot camp in September to teach people to do their own Google Ads because there's a lot that goes into it. But it is really fun. And I don't know, is it nerdy? Do you think it's a bit nerdy? Yeah, it's a bit nerdy.
Yeah, but it's also helps with businesses growing. So it's definitely worth
I will say
investing your
that,
time
yeah.
with this.
And that's the thing about marketing. So our jobs, because we're search specialists, is our jobs is to help businesses get business. And that doesn't mean clicks. And it doesn't mean visitors to the website. We want visitors to the website, but there is a percentage of people that when they go to the website, we want them to take the action that website is pushing. So phone calls or forms filled out or whatever your primary and secondary actions you want people to take, right? And so measuring these things is super important. And that is the place where people don't set themselves up for success, or they set themselves up, but because they don't know what they're doing, it breaks. And it's something you do basically one time and you get it all set up pretty. Sometimes it breaks, but you can figure that out. But that's the most important element to Google Ads, to SEO, to your marketing. Have I said this before?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely one that you want to make sure that all your all your whole funnel is set up, it's tracking correctly, you've got some way to report on it because like I was saying at the start, it's like a wind-up toy, and if you're not careful, you will run it into the wall, and then you'll be super frustrated. You just want to make
We're
sure
out of
that you've
time.
got it all set up.
I
Yes,
cut you off.
we
We could talk about this stuff for hours. I didn't even realize. I was like, we got 10 more minutes. But I guess our closing remarks are, thank you for joining us. We love this. And we will be here next week with our marketing roundup where all four of us, me, Phelan, Rena, and Greg, all get together to talk about search, social, and websites. And we really thank you for coming and joining us. And if you are interested in Google Ads or learning more about smart campaigns, just message us. We want to talk about this. If you're not part of our Facebook group, it's called Cyberpunk Geeks Marketing Mixer. If you're not in there, join us. We have fun things happening all the time. We got, we have Fridays, we have a happy hour. On Thursdays, we have this live. On Wednesdays, we have some search humor. Yes, it's kind of geeky. Anyway, wind-up toy analogy. Love it. Yes, it's true. Is that Chris? I wish I could see.
Yeah.
I need Chris. I'm gonna play an experiment. I'm gonna get you to like my Facebook page to see if I can get your beautiful face in where it says Facebook there. Anyway, I'll message you. I hope you all have a great week, and I hope you all do something beautiful and fun and something that makes you laugh during this week. Okay, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
The conversation never stops in our Facebook group, Cyberpunk Geeks. Join us at facebook.com/groups/cyberpunk geeks to ask your questions, meet new friends, and learn even more about search, social, and websites.